Right, and the testing continues. Right, so I'm at a loss. So this one here, this was what I call the abomination. So this one had the polyurethane on the top, and dope on the bottom. Now, in my defense, I don't know if I've mentioned this yet. Just looking around the room here, there it is. I don't know if I mentioned this yet. This was the dope thinners that I made up. It's now become brush cleaner. It milked. It just went so milky. So I ended up, now what I have is just dope and acetone, and now this is probably more than 60% acetone, maybe. Yeah, I was going to say more than 50%, but it is more than 50% acetone. Just straight acetone, no thinners, no xylene, and that's worked out a lot better. So, things I've learned. So again, this was the polyurethane on the top, and as you can see here, no matter what I do, I cannot get rid of that. I can heat shrink it and it comes back. This is still polyester. Don't know, and there you can see the, what would you call it, crocodile skin, if you like, on the dope. So I reckon that was, the dope was too thin. I beg your pardon. What I did was give these two panels as a test. Let me just go back, there you go. These two panels as a test, I gave them a coat of dope after the polyurethane, because you know, what do you got to lose, right? And it actually pulled the skin tight. Not bad at all, but it looks, I mean, that's, again, looking at it at its worst at the moment because of how I've got the light intentionally. To look at it, you know, any other way, it sort of looks fine, but when you go to paint, that's going to show up. This has a beautiful finish on it. But it's just not as tight. The dope on the bottom, again, that's very milky and way too thick. So it's quite drummy, sounds good. So this was the right panel, that was the left panel. So right is dope and left is the abomination. Am I revealing my political angle there? Anyway. What I've learned, so you can see it's casting a shadow in here, casting a shadow there, casting a shadow through here. So if I put the light on it, you can see it's a ridge. It's a ridge. So there's an actual step in the covering. It goes along, steps down. Now, what I've learned from that, or what I believe is happening, is when doping this way, you're pushing the dope through the fabric and it's pooling on the inside of the fabric and creating a fillet of dope, and then it's drying. And as it dries, it shrinks and it pulls that edge in. Now, to people who have used dope for a very long time, that's probably a Captain Obvious moment, but that was a lesson for me. So for the new people, for me included, I will be brushing across the join that way, not that way. These I couldn't use with dope, it just didn't seem to work. They went too spongy and I couldn't use it as an applicator. so I had to revert back to a brush. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, the other one. Yeah, did I say this? This is the right one. So it's just dope, and that's what I've learned with the doping, was that pooling in the corner on the inside, but really good. Here's another example of that. Okay, and this one was just the 100% polyurethane. Every part of this was polyurethane, and I went from that experiment over there. I think I actually put a coat of dope only on the open panel areas. So the whole thing was polyurethane, and then I doped over the polyurethane only in the open bay areas. And I think that actually came up all right. You can see there's not a lot in the way of steps, because the polyurethane sealed the fabric before the dope went on. And it's not as ringy, not as drum tight as the straight dope, but totally adequate for a model plane. Got a bit of a lift in the balsa skin there. I don't think I glued it to the ribs thoroughly, but it was a test piece, so I wasn't too particular. But yeah, it looks like it came up rather well. Now, on one of Mark's videos, Mark Croucher RC, I noticed on a Jungmeister build that he did, he actually went dope over the entire panel and then sealed it with polyurethane. So now my brain, with my experience, my logic is saying, well, what if we were to seal around from a raw, if you like, polyester, if we seal around the edge of the open bays and then dope the open bays to get them tight, and then do the entire panel with polyurethane. And you're thinking, well, what's the point of that? What's the advantage? Well, I can tell you the advantage is the polyurethane is so much nicer to work with. If it pulled the skin as tight as the dope did, it would be dope, to use current vernacular. It would be very good, but it doesn't. So I'm wondering if, yeah, just pull the polyester tight with the dope first, and then coat the whole thing with polyurethane. So, and get away from those VOCs as much as you can. Don't want to be sucking those in. Right, that's 8.5 minutes. What else was I going to chat about? Talked about the thinners, the application. Oh, the Mod Podge versus the Stix-It. Yeah, look, there's nothing in it. If you haven't done anything, just use the Mod Podge. It's worked really well. I've got no reason to use. Not to use it. The fact that I have Stix-It at the moment, I'll use that until it's gone, and then I'll switch over. 9 minutes. Okay, I think that'll do us for this one. Over and out.